Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going through 3 rolls of film that I've recently put through. A roll of Ilford's HP5 400, which is a black and white film, a roll of Portra 400, and a roll of Kodak Gold 200 that I put through a new film camera that I acquired, which is the Konica C35 EF. I didn't want to put through a really expensive roll of film on something that I didn't know was functional, so I put through a pretty cheap film stock, and the photos turned out pretty cool. Let's get right into it and look at some photos. So starting with some black and white photographs, these photos here were taken at a recent maternity shoot that I did with some good friends. They turned out pretty cool and kind of complemented the feel of the photos that they were looking for. They really wanted to get some really nostalgic looking feelings. The location of this shoot was at a redwood forest just after some rain, so the landscape was really dramatic. I kind of wish I took a little more photos of that location just to give a bit more context to the photographs, but I still think they really turned out well. The black and white really complemented the feel they were going for. On the same roll of film, I took the camera along with me on a walk around the block with the dogs. Some really weird stuff around my neighborhood, like this fridge with this Superman painted on it. There's also another one or just around the corner of it that shows a picture of the Hulk on it. So I don't know what's going on around here, but superheroes on fridges seem to be a thing. This balloon, I thought I was shooting color still. I definitely wasn't. It was actually a gold balloon, and I think it really looked awesome along the green that was surrounding it. It really popped against its environment. Still turned out pretty cool. I love the grain on this. It's just a bit of a random photo, but I thought it was cool. Would I really be a film photographer if I didn't take a photo of a covered car? This photo was taken in the morning with the morning light peering through the window of my living room. I really love the composition of this photo and the depth of it, from the blanket kind of blurred in the foreground to the midground of the pillow, and then the lilies in the background. It really gives a cool sense of depth there, and the morning light feels soft even though you can't see the color. I think it's beautiful. This photo here is probably my favorite of the entire roll. It's a double exposure of a photo I took of some blossoms out the front of my house, as well as my living room in the morning light. This photo is really cool because it just takes you on a journey around the entire frame. You get the really cool blossoms right in the middle. Layered behind it is the photograph of my living room with the morning light peering through. I really love the long shadows you can see along the living room in the corner of the image. My laptop on the coffee table, and the really nice close-up of the blossoms. There's just so much going on, and I think it is just so awesome. What a happy accident. On an evening stroll, during our lockdown here in Canberra, we came across this cool little pier. Evening light looked really nice here, so I brought the camera along with me. A black swan came along, and look at that. These photographs were taken on a little picnic Maddie and I had on our 1-year wedding anniversary recently. Maddie's really good at making these cheese boards. These photos were taken on a little photo walk I went on with one of my friends, Josh. You probably saw in my previous video some B-roll footage of me taking a photo of the fountain at Lake Burley Griffin in Canberra. Here are some of the resulting images of that little photo walk. I really love this photo of my Konica camera. At the end of that photo walk, when we were about to head home, I pulled up next to these other Subarus in my Forester there in the middle, and then another WRX came up and parked up next to me. So we had a little bit of a chat to that dude. Pretty cool guy. So Josh and I just pulled up, we finished our walk, and look at this. Moving on to the roll of Portra 400 that I shot on my camera. We start off with this photo of my brother and his WRX. We were out taking photos and filming stuff, and the light was just gorgeous, so I took a picture of him with his car. And he took a picture of me in my car. This is a little Nissan Micra. I love it. On the same roll of film, I took the camera along with me on a holiday Maddie and I had back in July. We went along the south coast once again. This photo was taken in Merimbula. We stayed at a little caravan park that was very familiar to some of my childhood memories of coast trips with my family. So it was quite nostalgic, kind of surreal. Felt like I was walking through a memory. I really love the composition of this photo. I just wish I nailed the focus on the beach. So as you can see, some of the kayak is sharper than the beach, which I was trying to get. Something to note for next time. Make sure you nail your focus. This is a photo you would have seen in my previous video as well. These flowers were just growing along the cliffs of a coastline we were exploring. I really love the colors, the greens, the blues, the whites, everything about it. This photograph was taken at a place called Camel Rock. We were on our way up to Ulladulla from Merimbula. Stopped along the way. This was a really cool spot. I definitely like this image more than the other image I just showed you. I love the context of Maddie's head there in the foreground. And for some reason the colours just look a little better. A lot brighter, not as muddy in the tones. This is one of Maddie and I's now favourite cafes. It's in Milton, it's called Peach Cafe. Lots of little indoor plants. Maddie's a sucker for plants, as you can see. Our house is covered in plants. Really awesome spot. This photo is probably my favourite from the entire roll. The colours are just amazing. You get the greens, you get the orange, you get the sky and the blues. Really sharp image taken here. The text on the sign there is really nice and sharp. This was taken literally just over my shoulder from the previous image. The light was just beautiful. Of course, on that same journey, Maddie finds a plant shop. We had to go home with some. Alright, moving on to the roll I put through on my new Konica. I picked up this one because I've always wanted a point and shoot, and this one actually comes with a flash. which is really handy. I really want to take it out to like a party and stuff, but we can't because of lockdowns. But I'm excited to try this out in a party setting somewhere dark. But for now, I can show you some photos I've taken of it in color film in the daylight. Starting off at this little basketball hoop that I've recently become very fond of because it's quite isolated and very well built. It's a beautiful little spot. The colors are really nice. The color scheme of this film definitely has a very golden feel, as it says in the name. I do love how this film stock handles greens. It definitely makes it feel like it's golden hour all the time. One thing I found tricky about this camera, and with point and shoots in general, is that because I believe it's a point and shoot, I think it's just point and shoot. But I always have to remember to focus this one still. It doesn't have autofocus. I do still need to remember to zone focus, or at least change the focus on the lens to match what is actually appropriate for the image. This one I definitely missed focus. Something to note in the future. I don't know what's happening in this. There's a bit of a light spot here. I'm not sure if the sun was just hitting the lens funny, because in the next image, it's gone. But then in the image after that, it's back. So I'm not too sure if this lens is sensitive to lens flares and that sort of thing, but maybe it'll perform better in the dark. All in all, I find those 3 rolls are pretty good. I definitely see a huge advantage on the AE-1 compared to the little Konica. The lenses are just way better on the Canon cameras, so the image is going to be a little sharper. I'm very excited to try out some more photographs on the Konica and try it out in the darkness to see what it can do there, because that's where this camera will have an edge over the Canon camera. I think biggest takeaways for me on this was to remember to focus properly on these on my point and shoot Konica. I always get in the habits of just going, oh yep, point and shoot, boom, done, but gotta remember to focus it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying the clearer audio on this microphone that I've got. I'm excited to take the cameras out and take you on photo walks, which is my intentions for this channel. But the lockdown's getting in the way of that. Let me know what your favorite photo was in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.